Good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, or whenever you're seeing this video. I'm Mr. McCrae, doing another video basically on slope-intercept forming graphing. Okay, so what we're going to do is basically combine all the stuff that we've learned over a period of time and just put that all together. Okay, we talked about the slope, we talked about y-intercept, x-intercept, we talked about how to graph, how to find the slope through coordinate points. I'll put that together to basically come up with the slope-intercept form and start graphing with that. And then we'll start using word problems and stuff like that. Okay, so let's look at it. Now, slope-intercept form, you guys should all probably know that by now, is y equals mx plus b. Okay, so the slope portion of it is basically, and this is the most general linear graph equation to make a graph. Okay, so the slope is basically this little m right here. And what do we know about slope? We know slope can be also called the rate of change. It can also be called the unit rate as well. Okay, it can be called the unit rate. Okay, it can also be used as the m, but it's also basically the change in y over the change in x. So you can use this equation of y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. So these y2 and xy1s are basically the coordinate points for each point. And that's will help you find the slope. Okay, now the b portion of this equation is the y-intercept. So what do we remember about the y-intercept? It's where it crosses the x-axis. Usually sometimes it could be the initial value in the equation. So like, for example, it's like you started with $30 and you kept buying coffees from, you started with $30 on the gift card. Remember that Amazon, we started $30 for the gift card and we basically bought how many coffees till we got to zero. So the initial value of the gift card was $30. Okay, so that would be the y-intercept. Okay, and then the coordinate point of y-intercept is always going to be the 0, y. So the one we're going to be using is this one right here. It's the second portion, is y portion. And then we're going to put that in for b, and that's going to help make our equation. Okay, so let's look at it here. So the important things you got to get out of this is basically we got to find what the m is and what the b is and use that information to actually graph the equation. Okay, so let's try. So let's look at this one here. We have 2x minus 4. So we need to know what the m is and what the b is. Okay, because m is the slope. So what's the slope in this situation? Again, a slope is always going to be in a fraction form. So it starts with just regular 2. So we're going to put it over 2 over 1. Okay, I'm going to put that 2 over 1. Now the b portion is going to be negative 4. Okay, so that's the y-intercept. All right, so we're going to use this information to basically graph. All right, so the y-intercept is negative 4. So we're going to go at this, start here at 0, the origin. We're going to go down 4 spots. Boom, there's that line right there. Okay, and then we're going to take the slope. Now, the slope is basically the rise over the run. Okay, I forgot to mention that too. Rise over the run. Rise. During the last year of the pandemic, challenged our free and open society for extraordinary determination and sacrifice. Okay, run on the bottom. So how this is going to work is basically up 2. Okay, so we're going to rise up 2, so positively 1, 2, then we're going to go over 1, and we're going to make a point. Do the same thing again, up 1, 2, over 1, make another point. And we can make more and more, but I'm just going to end that at that point. So if you get 3 points, that should be enough. Okay, and then just make your line, connecting all the dots. And that will be your graph. Okay, it doesn't have to be really long. Everybody kind of gets the understanding of where it's at. Okay, so that's how the graph would look. So again, just have to find the b, remember what the b is and what the m is, use rise over run, and then solve and then graph the equation. Let's try another one. So we need to know the m. Oh, that light for me. Oh, there it is. Oh, I know what it is. All right. Layers, layers, layers. All right. So, okay, so we need the b. Actually, just put it on the side. We need the b. Okay, and that's going to be 4. We need the m. Okay, which is 5. over 4. All right. Now, the situation is you got the negative here. So where's the negative go? We're going to put the negative on the top. All right. So if there's a negative in the middle, that automatically is going to go to the top number. All right. So we're going to add that. So let's graph this here. All right. So we have 4. So we're going to start at 4. Let me see if I can make another layer here. Not really working. Oh, hold on a second, guys. I don't know. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. Now I'm ready. Okay, so we have 4 right here. Okay, and then now we have -5 and 4. So we go down -5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then we're gonna go, and then it says the run is 4. So we're gonna go 4 positive. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. There is the line. Okay. And that's how it works. Okay, that's the best line I could possibly do. But again, like I said, making sure that you know what the B is, what the M is, and if you just take that and actually graph it and make a slope, make the rise or the run. Okay, cool. All right, let's try another one. Whoa, so we have a situation now. We have y equals 4. All right. So x equals 4. What's the B in this situation? Okay. Is there a B? No, there isn't. Is there a slope? Is there a slope in this situation? Is there an M? No. This is a special case. Okay. This is a special case. There is no slope. There is no B. So basically, I'm just going to look where 4 is on the x-axis. Make a line here. And all I'm going to make is a straight line going down. Up and down. So, not the greatest line, but I think you get the idea. So you just make a vertical line on that. So anytime you have a value that says x or y, x equals 4, you're just going to make a vertical line on that number. Now, if it's y equals 4, you make a horizontal line on this axis here. Okay? So those are special cases that you could possibly see. All right, let's try a couple more. So we have y equals 1/4 x plus 3. Okay, so we need to know what the B is. The situation. Uh-oh. Okay, hold on a second, guys. Wow. Uh-oh. All right, hold on a second, guys. Sorry. Went out for me for a second. So a B in this situation. Okay. The B is going to be 3. Okay. Now the M would be 1/4. Okay, 1/4. All right. So that's how it works. B is 3. The M is 1/4. So B is going to be right here. Okay, that's the y-intercept. Now we got to figure out what the M is. Okay. So remember, rise over run. So we're going to run up 1, and then we're going to go over 4 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we make a line. And that's it. And that's how it works. Okay, let's do another one. All right, so the B and the M. Now in this situation, we have a 3 and then we have negative x. So the B is still going to be 3, okay, because that's a constant right here. Now the M is negative x in this situation. So that would be, now what's x? 1/1. So again, that would be -1 over 1. Okay, so now we got to go down 1 over 1. Same thing again, down 1 over 1. Down 1 over 1. You can make as many points as you want. I just made it to make it easy to make my line. But you can just make 2 and then just make your line. It'll work. Okay? And that's how it works for those kind of graphs. right? So make sure that you know the slope and you know the y-intercept, and you can be able to graph any point, any equation, linear equation based on that information. Okay, so let's get a little bit harder now. So now we're going to start using some algebra involved in this. Okay, so now we got to convert to y equals mx plus form or slope intercept form, and then we got to graph it. Okay, so let's look at this situation here. All right, we have 2y equals 6ax minus 8. So the form has to be y equals mx plus b. So we have to have y by itself. So what do we do to get y by itself? So we have to go back to our two-step and three-step equation stuff that we did before. So let's do that. So what do we know about 2y? How do we get rid of it? So 2 times a number equals 6x minus 8. So what I have to do is the opposite operation or inverse operation of 2 times the number. So that would be division. So I divide by 2, and I divide everything on the other side by 2. Okay, so y equals 3x minus 4. Okay, and that's how it works. All right, so again, how it's going to work is, all right, is now I got to graph it. So now I got to go down to -4 right here, and now I got to remember it says m equals 3 over 1. Okay, 3 over 1. So now, what do we have to do to go? Now we have to go rise. So we have to rise 3. 1, 2, 3 over 1. And that's the point. Okay, and that's how it would work on that line. Okay, and that'll be done. All right. All right. So that's how it would work in that equation. Good job. All right, let's try another one. Now this one's a little harder. So we have 4x equals 3y in 9. So we got to get it to y equals mx plus b form. Okay, so now what do we have to do? Okay, I'm gonna put this line, old school line that we did before in the middle to make it easier. So now I gotta move my x to the other side. So I got a -4 from both sides. And that cancels, and now I end up with -3y equals -4x plus 9. Now what do I do? Now I gotta divide by 3, -3 on both sides. -3, -3, -3. Okay, so this cancels, and I end up with y equals 4/3 x. Okay, and now we have -3 and 9, so that gives us -3 right here. So y equals 4/3 x minus 3. Y equals 4/3 x minus 3. And that's how it would work. All right, so let's move on here. Let's see about graphing it. So let's start at 0, and let's go down to, now remember it said the b in this situation would be -3. Okay, and also it turns to positive 4/3 because we have a negative and negative. If we divide those numbers, negative on negative turns to positive. Okay, and that's why it's positive 4/3. Okay, I didn't mention that. And this would be 4/3. Okay, so let's do it. So let's go -3 on the y-intercept right here, and let's go rise 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's go over to the right 3 spots. 1, 2, 3, and there you go. There you go. And that's how the graph would work. So again, guys, gave you a bunch of examples how to do graphing of slope intercept form, and that's even with doing some algebra too. So expect that to be done within the homework and the work today, and we'll continue to practice on. All right, bye now, guys. Enjoy the inauguration.